Hello. Stay a while and listen. Welcome to another EverQuest Meets Programming video. Today we are talking about the other good games, Diablo and Diablo 2, and their random loot system, and how I think that could fit into EQ. One thing I think that has been missing from EverQuest is a sense of variability. That, you know, if you want something in EQ, you can just sit there and camp it for days on end and maybe finally get it. And that's what it is. That's what you were waiting for. But there's no random chance of something crazy happening. All of a sudden, you just get lucky. So what I wanted to do was put in an affix system for items, dropped randomly from mobs, from quest rewards, from different types of places. Right now I have a framework built out, kind of showcasing what's possible, and nothing set in stone, just kind of, okay, this could happen this way or that way. And I'll just give it a shot and see if we get something out of it. So I'm gonna kill this guard right here, and there's a chance that the stuff that he's wearing is gonna drop as a magic item. I'm going down. Nope, not today. So this is an example of a sword that ended up being rolled as magic, and we got affixes on it. So we have Lord's Short Sword of Readiness. We have 126% damage, 10% reduced delay, and accuracy +5 on there. That is not bad for a short sword. Regular Queen's Kite Shield right there. Let's check the other one. Corrosive Short Sword of Craftsmanship. This one's got poison damage on it. Let's get these bad boys another shot. There we go. So here is a magic piece of armor. Shimmering Quanos Kite Shield. We got some plus resist all right there. Not bad. And the goal is to be able to make this thing persist as well. Sure, it's been a limitation for a lot of people who have been running emulator servers that maybe they could create a dynamic item, but it wouldn't persist. And the concept of creating an infinite number of permutations for every single item and storing in the database just really isn't feasible. It's not a good approach, I don't think. So my challenge was to figure out a way to make this persist with selling to a merchant so that it's there. We have our merchant who knows about it now. Make sure that we still have it whenever we get back on. And that we're able to trade it to other players, we're able to link it in chat over tells, over shouts, and I might just have to restart this here. You never know. I'll just restart this one. And that we aren't saving another database entry because we could theoretically be creating a very large number of items right here. So there's a little bit of magic going on in the back end. This is all run by the dotnet quest engine, and I've made a video about that before, how we're doing kind of some new stuff right there with getting AI in for NPCs, and this is another part of it as well, the dynamic loot system. And I'll show a little bit of the code here at the end. But for now, yeah, we still got our Shimmering Quanos Kite Shield. We can buy that, somebody else can buy it. So these are persisting without adding entries to the database. We're just kind of saving some new metadata. We're doing a little bit of dynamic item creation whenever the loot tables are rolled. And yeah, it scales with level, and there's a list of affixes I swiped from a Diablo 2 website. Again, this is just kind of a proof of concept starting point. Definitely would be a lot of gotchas, you know, where we would want to scope this kind of thing for quest items, for certain zones, for certain mobs. Anything can be tweaked in any kind of way. And this is just kind of a starting point. Let's try some other zones out, see what we can get. And I probably want to turn GM, what is it, GM mode on, GM on, and God mode. Ooh, I want to turn that one on. And target Lord Nagafen. There he is. Check him out. Let's get fly mode off for me as well. And let's take a look at the loot table. We got Knight's Blight, Hammer of the Scourge of Alacrity. Damn, okay, so we got some haste on this. Haste in this sense is taking delay straight off of the item. So what this does is applies item modifications to the base item. Not stacking on each other here, but just on the base item. So we got +5 accuracy, a couple other stats right there. Deadly, gold-plated Koshigatana of Slaying. This is going to be crazy. If all of a sudden we got a 1425 Piercer off a classic boss right there. So yeah, you can kind of use your imagination, and that's really it. You know, this is a system that could be extended in any possible way, and these could be generated to be customized to whoever kills the person. So I could have my own unique item with my name on it, and everybody could see that. I could sell that or make it no drop. I could really modify anything that we would want to do and serialize that and just have that apply dynamically. Alright, I'm going to pop into the code right now, kind of give a little overview of how this is working for anybody interested in that part. So, the way this is working right now, this is the backend dotnet quest system, and it's working behind a set of feature flags to make sure that we want to roll NPC loot for this. Like I said, there's a couple different entry points we could do for this, and actually I'll just show off this other point, this other one thing as well. In the .NET Quest engine, there is an ability to add commands to the C# code. So I can hook all this code up to a command. I have one called mod item, and that will mod that item and put it right back in my inventory. So I could roll this as many times as I want, as a GM, of course. So that could be a fun kind of thing for a GM to do as well. Even if the whole random loot thing isn't in the game, you could modify somebody's one item and give them a little bit extra. So how this is working right here is whenever any NPC spawns, it takes all the loot items on their loot table and it tries to roll a magic item on here. And we got some logic to figure out if they're going to do it, if there's the chance meets the criteria right here, and it'll create a magic item in that case. Does a couple rolls to see if we want to add a prefix and a suffix, or add both a prefix and a suffix. And we could definitely add an entry point for rares and uniques as well. The data is kind of set up. I would love the idea of uniques, like a short sword turning into something like the grandfather or something. That'd be pretty cool. And then it'll take all of its chances to roll, and there's just a big old list of possibilities of what can happen here. For weapons, we have the speed, the damage, attack rating, all that kind of stuff. And this is really easy to extend to. I can just add another one very quickly of whatever stat I want to be able to add. So no fiddling around in the C++ and recompiling. This is just adding another entry, and all of a sudden we have a possible match there. Oh, that's another thing that's great about this, is that we have the possibility for stats that don't exist in EverQuest. We have things like Mana Leech and Life Leech. I'm gonna roll one thing in my ring right here and see if I get this. So we got a Wedding Ring of the Vampire. I'm gonna roll it until I get some. Until I get a Life Leech one. There we go. So I've got Life Leech on here right now, and if I go and attack one of these bad boys, I'm leeching health. I think it's 10% or something. I mean, this really changes the game right here, being able to leech health from something. And there's mana leech as well. So that's a pretty interesting system to be able to think that you can add custom stats. Another one I was thinking of would be Magic Find as well, which would affect the drop rates and the drop quality of things as they drop from NPCs, because we could also define an entry point for an NPC death for whenever we wanted to randomly apply potential stat modifications to an item. So yeah, we decide which items we want to apply, and then we save it on some custom data, and that custom data is what is stored on the item instance, whether it's in the inventory or a merchant's inventory. And then whenever it's rehydrated in the client, then we're just able to apply those stats on something and keep it around basically forever. So yeah, that is an overview of how this is working now. I'm kind of putting the brakes on this because it was a big step to implement, and it could be coming to some other servers possibly soon. But in the future, it's going to be realized in its full potential and its full idea how I want to implement this in Requiem. So that's kind of TBD. Requiem itself is going to be a Classic Plus server, so no expansions, level 50, and there are going to be dynamic affixes for items as well. So that's just content kind of oriented stuff for the future. Right now I'm focused a lot on the programming for all the different things that are going to support the server in the future. So that's all we got for today. If anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And this is available right now for anyone interested to set this up for themselves as a private EQEmu server. You can just find me on Discord. I'll post some information down in the description, and would be happy to help anybody get set up who wants to give this a shot. Alright, see you later.